Hello, all of you. Good afternoon. So basically, this thought, this came to my mind, and this is so very important nowadays. So I thought, let me make a short video on this. So basically, mm, when we interact with the students, uh, this is a common problem that they are telling, that finding a remedy is becoming difficult because um, as in how we try to interact with the people, like with the symptoms that the patients tell. With each symptom, there is a particular remedy that coming to my head, that comes to our mind. And so at the end of the case, it becomes like a whole bunch of remedies that we are juggling with. And finally, it is becoming difficult to, finally which remedy to choose. And as our focus is on finding the remedy, at the end of the case, we also get this problem that we collect the data from the patient, but it is not the relevant data. I mean, there is no much of juice into it. By juice, what I mean is on what things we prescribe. We prescribe on characteristic symptoms. We prescribe on peculiar symptoms. But in this conversation, this type of conversation, it so happens that you have a data, but it is not homeopathically important. I mean, you cannot prescribe a particular simillimum with the data that you are collecting. So this is the problem. With many of the youngsters, this is the problem. So to that, a simple answer is, why I'm telling today it is simple, because I have gone through it and still going through it sometimes. And it's a human nature. I mean, there is no offense into it to go through this. Rather, it is always better that you're going through this, because with this experience, this current experience, the future becomes smoother, because it gives you the confidence that yes, whatever I'm doing, I'm going in the right direction, because I have faced the other side of it as well. So the answer is, when we sit with a person to take a homeopathic case taking, homeopathic conversation, if we keep a focus to find a remedy at the end of the conversation, it becomes difficult, and it is definitely going to be difficult all the time from here on. But if you sit with a patient with a thought that you want to understand that patient, I mean, today this lady has come to me and she has this problem, migraine and etc. things. But along with that, she has come with some of her own story. You know, it's as good as you are interviewing somebody and you are going through them in their life journey. To just give you an example, if you just recollect, when you are watching these celebrity interviews on the internet, social media, I don't want to name any particular things because region-wise it differs, but there are famous shows where, you are so curious to know the celebrity in front of you and how they struggled and how they reached the level where they have reached at this moment of time. And you are into it. You are totally involved into it. Why? Because in that interview, the interviewer is slowly, gradually unfolding important aspects of that person's life. And just because it's a celebrity and we are so excited and we are into it and we want to listen to it, but when the same thing is happening with the two people talking and for the homeopathic consultation, it becomes either, a burden, or it becomes like, oh God, I don't know what is going to happen today. Or it will be like, I'm not understanding this, how I'm going to take this conversation ahead. I mean, why so? If you just flip it, the interviewer which you are seeing on the screen, who is taking the interview of some celebrity, why it is not that that interviewer is you in the homeopathic interrogation, and see how interesting it becomes. And the celebrity which you are seeing on the screen, for which you are so excited, is your patient. And now see, and now do the conversation, and you see how much you will enjoy that. Just because you sit with the thought that, at the end of this, whatever, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 2 hours, I need an indication for the remedy, and I'm here just to get those indication and nothing else. When you wear this chashma, when you wear this goggle, you will not see very beautiful things that are coming your way. You will be missing that because you have worn only the chashma of remedy, and you're not at all seeing anything else, something beautiful that is coming your way. So please remove this chashma, first of all, remove this goggle, remove the specs of, that I want to see this patient only through a homeopathic angle. First of all, remove that, because that takes off a lot of burden from your shoulder, and you'll be free to interrogate, to converse with a new person that has come to your doorstep. I mean, I would rather say that we are so lucky. Ask me why. Because we are lucky because, people are taking appointments to meet us, first thing. Second thing, they are ready to share their life's experiences with us. Third thing, with those life experiences, there are again two things happening. One, if you are treating them in a right way, if you understand them in a right way, they will bring 10 patients for you. Your practice is growing. Another thing is, when you sit with people and listen to their experiences of life, you are enriching yourself with their life experiences, maybe good or bad. With their bad experiences, you will be, aware that if something like this also happens, and your mind start working like in such situation, what to do. I mean, if somebody else is going through the same thing, what thing to advise to them, because you have heard something like this happening. And for that, you do not have to go outside of your clinic, roam here and there. You're so lucky that people are coming to you with their life experiences, and they are enriching you in other way. Some experiences are so thrilling. I mean, sitting in my clinic, I can experience Leh Ladakh. I can experience, the mountains. I can experience the Himalayas with them. So this is the other side of it. I mean, when you see a homeopathic interrogation as a chatting between the two people, or interview between the two people, you are the interviewer and the person sitting in front of you as, a celebrity, you see how exciting this journey will become. And just a caution, see, all these things are to make all of us exciting about, to get all of us excited about this journey. But the important thing is, we do not have to, just flow with the stories and stories and stories. Even though we are enjoying, we are homeopaths. Okay? So even in that Leh Ladakh story, we have to see how that person is perceiving that experience. How that person has, have seen that mountain. How that person, if it's a bad story, if it's a bad experience, how that person has seen that bad experience, and what was the effect of that on that person. So it will become an interesting thing for us to go ahead with the conversation. Next thing is, when we are totally 100% into the conversation, automatically our senses becomes, they are so receptive that they will give you clues what to ask next. Because this is another question that many of the students, they ask, ma'am or sir, how to know that this is the next question, or how do you know that this is the next question to ask? I mean, there is no such kind of framing of questions. There is nothing like that. When you are 100% involved into any conversation, when you are 100% involved into something, your own senses will give you the direction. Believe you me. And just try this and let me know. You will never falter. Your senses will never ever falter you if you are totally 100% into it. The problem is, please listen to this carefully because this is very important. The problem is we sit here to take the case physically, but mentally we are somewhere else. Maybe something that happened before starting the case, or some post that we have seen on the internet, or the plan that you have to do at the weekend, your brain is over there. So you are not in the moment. You are not listening to your patients 100%. I mean, whatever they are telling, 10 lines, 15 lines, only 2-3 lines are going into your brain and rest of it is just, sieved away. And the interesting point is ahead of this. In those 10 lines, the 3 lines that your mind takes into you are those lines which you are familiar with. To give you an example, that a patient has narrated the whole story, how she has suffered in the life and etc., etc., etc. And she has told that, okay, my parents didn't supported me, and my husband didn't supported me. So she meant something else with that word support, which is inclusive of the other context. That word is in the relation with the other sentences, other complete paragraph, the situation that she have told. But you have not heard it. You have heard something called as support. And now you wear a chashma of mineral kingdom and you are just, after that, even the patient is telling something very peculiar, which is indicative of some other remedy from some other kingdom, you will not see it because you have worn that chashma of mineral kingdom because patient have uttered this word the support. So these are the commonest things that, people are coming and telling, and especially when we are asking them. We do not stop that, okay, so you are not getting the thing, okay, we will do it, we will help you out. We are actually asking them, where actually do you falter? That's why we always encourage our students, those who come to Gurukul and they are, learning homeopathy thoroughly, they are into it. We always encourage them to, whenever you take the case, please write down your own questions. What are you asking? Because that actually gives us the, brain mapping where this doctor's brain is while taking the case. Is he 100% over there available? It totally gets reflected by your questions, the connectivity between you and the patient. So my humble request to you all is make this journey exciting for yourself and for the person sitting next to you. When you are gloomy, when you are afraid, when you are nervous that, how am I going to converse with this person, or how will be this conversation, will I be able to find the remedy at the end of the conversation, will I be able to cure this patient? My dear students, my dear friends, it gets reflected on your face automatically. It gets reflected that the doctor is either nervous, the doctor is either confused, the doctor is not interested into my story. And that vibe, my dear friends, we are humans, we can get the vibes, right? So person can get that vibe, and then the conversation takes a different turn altogether. And the opposite side to it is when you are open, when you are welcoming, where your approach is welcoming for the patient, when you are ready to listen to them, when you are ready to hear to them, it is a total different perspective. I mean, in places like Mumbai where we practice, or nowadays anywhere you go, it is getting difficult for people to get somebody to listen to them, because nobody have time. Nobody have time in the sense, they have time, but they have time for the wrong things. or not needed things, but not the time for the needed things. So that's why people are lonely these days. That's why people are, not having somebody to share their heart out, and that's how problems develop. A part of problem develops because of that, because there is nobody to hear to them. And then there is somebody who is ready to listen to them in the form of a homeopath. And it becomes so easy for them to connect to us if our gesture is welcome. So the bottom line is, be available, be welcoming with your patients. And how to do that? First of all, remove this thought from your mind when you are sitting for the case taking, that I have to give the remedy to this patient. Sit with this thought that yes, today is a beautiful day and this is another patient, that is another human being. Why patient? There is another human being who have chosen me to listen to him or her, and I'm going to travel their life experiences with them, whether it is good or bad, whether it is exciting or sad, happy, funny, jealousy, filled with jealousy, filled with revenge. Anything can come in our direction. So I think this journey is more exciting than the interviewer, because that celebrity interviewer, because their life is mostly out in the open. I mean, how they struggle, because a lot of them take their interviews and it becomes like a routine, like this is taken, that is taken, but the question remains the same and the story remains the same. But in our case, it is so very exciting because every person is new, the experiences are new, and yes, that please be open to listen to them. That's the only thing I wanted to convey. I think this video has become long, but I don't know any other way to speak. I'm very talkative in that way. So please listen to this and please follow this in your practice and let me know how it is working for you, this thought. And don't forget to remove your chashma. Okay? Bye.